Well, here we are, a foggy morning on the Canberra's Centenary Trail. Whoa! It got real rough. It got real rough. We're good. Just drop the camera. Oh, classic. In this video, a few friends and I head down to Canberra to ride the Centenary Trail. As a bit of an intro, I thought I'd show you a few highlights of the trip. We ride a heap of single trail, some beautiful gravel roads, some paved footpath. I even show you some beautiful swimming holes. Now grab yourself a drink. This is an awesome loop and I've got a lot to show you. This is actually really cool. Oh, the dreams. Well, that was superb. I don't know what else to say. Hello, welcome back to another video. I assume if you're here watching, it's because you're interested in riding Canberra's Centenary Trail. Well, before we get stuck into the video, this is a pretty long one, so I just wanted to say a few quick words. The Centenary Trail is actually not something that I was ever really interested in doing. Not sure why, but I've kind of got a fascination with alpine huts and going up into Kosciuszko. But I had some mates doing it, so I decided to tag along, and I'm very happy I did because the Centenary Trail is an awesome loop and I can highly recommend. In this video, I really didn't know what to talk about, and it's quite a long loop, so I didn't really talk into the camera at all. It's just all GoPro footage from the chest. So this video is going to be a little bit different to my usual videos. It's more of just a POV shot of the whole loop, and I'm going to do some voiceovers of my thoughts and where we are, and sort of more an informative type video. So I'm going to start with the bike I rode, which is my old 1992 Mongoose Switchback. With the nature of this channel being kind of riding old retro bikes, I decided to do it on my old Mongoose, and it was perfect. I'm absolutely stoked with how it went, and I would 100% do it again on this. So that just shows it doesn't really matter what type of bike you ride, you can do it on anything. So I think that's all I wanted to say before starting. So let's go back to the start and enjoy this one. It's gonna be long. The Centenary Trail is a 145 kilometre loop around Canberra, which passes through the capital's iconic sites. We found a nice little car park at the Remembrance Nature Park, which worked out to be the perfect starting point of our 3-day adventure. This bike feels so different to the last time I rode it. Our plan was to do the loop in an anti-clockwise direction. So up first we headed north around the Mount Ainslie Nature Reserve, where we were presented with one of my favourite things ever, some beautiful morning fog. Woohoo! The goose loves it! As we navigated our way around the base of Mount Majura, we found ourselves riding on the first bit of single trail of the trip. Our plan was to ride this over 3 days. 60 kilometres on day 1, 50 kilometres on day 2, and then 35 kilometres on day 3. We booked accommodation for both nights as there aren't a lot of areas to camp. The Centenary Trail has a real mix of terrain. 1 minute you're on a rough single trail, the next you're riding on some fast flowing concrete cycleways. Who needs a horn when you got rim brakes? Something that is really magic about this trail, even when you are riding in between some major highways, they've still managed to add sections of single trail. You'll constantly find yourself on a different surface, and I love that. Did you notice that sign? Well, that's the Centenary Trail sign. You're going to notice heaps of them throughout this whole video. They are scattered everywhere. Some areas can be a little confusing as there are gates to climb over, but don't worry, you shouldn't get lost. As I said, there are plenty of signs. The Guru Yuru Nature Reserve is the start of some beautiful gravel. The kilometres were easy, and at the time I was thinking, can this get any better? Well, it does. Mulligan's Flat. When you enter through the gate into Mulligan's Flat, the sun will come out, and that gravel, it just gets better.
Oh, starry nights. Oh, 38.
I was calling Juan 38 all weekend because he has a 38 tooth chainring. He was flying along on this smooth gravel, but he may regret that chainring size a little later in the trip. At the start of this video, I mentioned that I love to ride up into Kosciuszko to see alpine huts. Well, this may not be a hut, but I wasn't expecting it, and it was really cool to stumble across.
The woodshed. Well, nobody told me that there was a hut on this ride. A nice surprise. See you later, Mulligan's Flat Woolshed. The Ghost Grappler. Thank you.
Before you know it, the terrain has changed again, and soon you'll be up at the border of New South Wales and climbing some hills. The views you get at the northern end are seriously worth it.
Oh, isn't this a nice view?
What was I saying about that 38 tooth chainring? The trail meanders along the top of the hills following the border of the ACT. This is where you'll find some of the best views of the whole loop. On a cool, windless winter's day like we had, it's absolutely magic up there.
It's pretty nice. That's so nice. I think I want to move to Canberra. It's actually so cool with a trail just in those views, like, that's mental.
Camera rolling?
Yep. Fire pit. We found another hut. A little timber one. I reckon I could fit in there.
Get in?
I'm getting in it. I'm gonna try to anyway. Oh, hope it doesn't collapse.
I hope it does.
This is actually kind of cool. So cinematic.
Oh, this is cool.
The good thing about being at the top of a hill on a bike can only mean one thing: sweet descents. Even though I was only riding this rigid old mountain bike, the trails out here are still super fun.
Oh, it's when the dual suspension shines.
Now, I know dragging on GoPro footage can be a little bit boring, but some of these trails are just too good not to share.
This is a cool section. Yo! That was mad. That was sick. Except I was pulling the brakes all the way into my other fingers that were holding on. That was rad, boys. That was sick. I'm glad I've come on this trip because I'm enjoying it thoroughly.
I can't sleep, but I'm hardly awake. A little romance, such a fine romance.
Who needs suspension?
I'm slowly waking to see what's real, to finally heal. How will I cope without your word? How will I cope without your heartbeat? How will I cope without your love? How will I cope without your without your heartbeat? How will I cope without your with your hand on your heart? Oh, please tell me, will I cope?
I'm surprised you haven't snapped a chain.
What I didn't expect when I went to do the Centenary Trail was the amount of variety it had to offer. There's gravel, there's fire roads, there's heaps of single track. The landscape just varies so much. We've had the busy city roads, we've had the open farmlands, and now look at this, we're in the beautiful Australian bush. I really didn't want this video to drag on for hours, but I have so much footage and I really want to show you guys, so we're just going to have to put on another song and continue the journey. We were up around the 30 to 35 kilometre mark. I can remember my legs starting to feel heavy, yet I was so happy. We had jagged the most pleasant weather imaginable to do this loop. The rolling hills at the northern end on this calm, sunny winter's day really was just pure magic.
Are you making me break uphill again? This mongoose just rolls so well. I think that's the bottle lost third or fourth time. Breather. Oh, switchback. Hello up there. There's a few good hills on this part. We're doing some switchbacks on our way up. Very pretty, but legs are starting to get heavy. Still having a good time. It's a good hill, this one. But I love the views. Need to get out my phone, give it a snappy. Not a bad view from up the top here. Holy shit. It's a beautiful Friday afternoon in the nation's capital.
Coming to you live from wind.
This descent was probably my favourite of the whole loop, so I've dedicated a whole song to it.
This part is so nice. Oh yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Two more. Hello. Doesn't this just make the climb all worth it? Well, cancel my ticket to Canada. I'm coming to Canberra. Oh, it's so good. better than Threadboat. I love the fact that it's just a slight gradient, you hold your speed, not much braking. Oh, the double lines. Well, that was superb. I don't know what else to say. I'll follow you guys.
After riding a little over 40 kilometres, we arrived in the town of Hall. It was time for a rest, and like every great ride, why not have a few tasty beverages? Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Cheers. Ching ching.
All right. Then we are off, baby, yeah. Back on it after a couple of beers. Do I try a wheelie in front of everyone? Oh. That was embarrassing. Oh. All right, now we fight to the death. Rim brakes are disc brakes. Haven't you seen the stickers? It's a pretty cool skate park. Straight. It's actually a pretty good looking handle for me to grab on right there. Big arm. Don't stop. Don't stop. Come on, you can lift that back wheel, come on. What's your
My hands are in a really shit mood. It's heavy.
We got a ramp, do we? Ladies and gentlemen, we have a ramp.
It may have been a little bit of a mission, but we successfully navigated our way through the Australian Institute of Sport. Only a couple of corners later and we had arrived at the Alivio Tourist Park, where we're staying in a cabin for the night.
Oh yeah. Better get another beer out, eh?
Well, it is day 2 of the Centenary Trail. Frosty morning, but yesterday was a good day and the weather is looking primo again, so just getting ready and we'll head off shortly. Alrighty, day 2. Obviously the plan is to continue along the Centenary Trail. Today we head south and we'll cover about 50 kilometres on our way to Greenway. This is where we'll find our accommodation, which is the Abode Apartments. Just like day 1, the sun is out, the weather is perfect, and it's a glorious day to be riding a bike.
I can see a sign up ahead.
We weren't on the bikes long before we were back on the dirt. This first section of trail is through the Black Mountain Nature Reserve. A beautiful bit of trail to get the legs moving again. It wasn't long before we stumbled across another one of Canberra's iconic landmarks. This one was the Telstra Tower.
Oh, it is the tower.
There are plenty of good views of the tower, but thankfully the trail doesn't just head up and over the top of the mountain.
Bit of a rough one.
There are still a few good hills to climb, but it's pretty cruisy as the trail loops around the base of the mountain.
I feel like you're on the rough section. Yeah, you wanna go? Yeah. Not a bad view. Look at him go! Salute. Woo-hoo! Actually, I'm getting a photo of my bike with that in the background. There's the tower.
After riding a few kilometres down some of the paved cycleways,
What is an arboretum? What does that mean?
we found ourselves at the National Arboretum of Canberra. Now, at the time I wasn't sure what an arboretum was, but I do now. And essentially, it's a botanical garden for trees.
It's a nice shady spot if it was hot. This is actually really cool.
There are multiple trails up through the grounds of the Arboretum, and I'm pretty sure we actually left the Centenary Trail. I'm not sure what the real trail was like, but I really enjoyed riding up through all the different species of trees, I can recommend getting lost in here, as it's pretty cool.
The dark woods in there. Very pretty. It's another cool heart thing, remember jig? That is cool. I'm getting a photo with my real camera with that one. So nice.
So I've checked the maps and we did officially leave the Centenary Trail. But with these extra little bits of single trail, I won't be complaining. There is a cafe right in the centre of the Arboretum which has some really nice views of the area. It was the perfect spot for us to stop for some brunch. If you would prefer to eat before riding, I should probably have mentioned that there was also a cafe at the Alivio Tourist Park and also another lunch spot at Stromlo further along the ride.
Well, this single trail looks fun.
After eating, we continued through the grounds of the Arboretum. Again, I'm pretty sure these trails were not the official Centenary Trail, but I think they'll probably be better. I do love a bit of single trail though, so that's just my opinion. Eventually, we were back on the Centenary Trail and heading for Stromlo.
Big Roo having a scratch. It's like damage warning. Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah, nailed it.
The ghost grappler, it goes anywhere. Yeah, cool. Camera's got it all. Stromlo Forest Park.
Stromlo has its own bike shop plus a little bar type cafe thing, and it could be just me, but I think it would be rude not to have a beer before heading on our way. Up next, we headed uphill onto the Coolaman Ridge. This was one of my favourite sections of day 2. There are some nice views looking back into the city, and after a few more corners, there were some even better views looking out into the hills of the west.
Oh, it's a nice looking gum. Top spot. Might get a photo. Just because. Oh, my water bottle. First one today. Might have a drink. Oh, it's full of mud. Yuck. a cool bit of a ridge line. Ta-da! That looks like a cool descent. I'm going to take photos of you guys going down, so. Oh, total drift. Oh, that was... Oh, the dreams.
At this point of the loop, we would have been getting up close to the 100-kilometre mark. I was honestly surprised at how much fun I was having on a 30-year-old rigid mountain bike. So good.
Whoa. Someone went off the corner there. That was sick. All the kangaroos just chilling.
We were now up to a less fun part. It was kind of a commute between some of the good sections. While it wasn't bad, it was still a bit bland, and we had also run into a bit of a headwind.
Windy!
We soon made it down to Canberra, where we're at the final section of the day, the Murrumbidgee Discovery Track. This is a nice cycling and walking track that follows the Murrumbidgee River all the way into Greenway, where our accommodation awaits.
Alrighty then. Hello, thank you. Oh, there's water down there. Alright, mate. Like the Threadbow Valley Trail. Oh, fun little ascent over there. Not?
We made it to Greenway. We stayed at the Abode Apartments. At first, I was a little concerned about having bikes, but we had no problem taking them in the lift and up to our rooms. Each room had a nice big balcony to store bikes, which was perfect. It was nice to head out for dinner knowing our bikes were safe. I can highly recommend. Day 3. What can I say about day 3? It was another beautiful morning. It was Sunday, the sun was shining. Pretty much all cafes were closed until 8 AM. So after some breakfast at McDonald's, we were on the road. We were joined by a friend from Canberra who had come out to ride the last section of trail that he had never ridden before. I'll introduce him soon. We had about 35 kilometres to ride on day 3 to complete the Centenary Trail. This section was my least favourite. Still great to be out riding, but it just wasn't as nice. Which is probably a good thing, as this video is getting long. I will say though, as we were following this canal, one of the funniest things of the trip happened.
I have to do that as well. I'm going in. I'm going in. Oh! Whoa. Yeah. That's slime. I was recording. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Daniel. There's nothing worse than riding with new people and having a stack like that. I feel for you. All right.
Well, now that embarrassment is out of the way, we continued along this pathway until it reached some more residential areas. Eventually the trail turned into gravel.
We are off-road.
The off-road trails of this third day just seemed rougher than the first 2 days. I guess that's one of the reasons why I didn't enjoy it as much. The other reason was the scenery just wasn't as pretty. You didn't have those beautiful rolling hills like we had in day 1 and day 2. But don't get me wrong, there's still a good day out on the bike.
Unreal. Few hill climbs today.
So, I may have lied. Turns out there is a view. I think it's about time I start wrapping this video up. We were almost done with the dirt riding. We had made it to the streets of South Canberra, a nice little area with plenty of golden leaves still around from the autumn fall.
Oh, stack. The blind gutter. Is that?
This was the last section of gravel type riding of the trip. This led us back to the streets where we were within viewing distance of Parliament House.
Oh, it's Parliament House.
As we got closer, something shocked me. There was single trail right at the footsteps. Is this where our politicians come for some lunchtime laps?
Yeah. It's cool that it's right next to Parliament House. There's some single trail.
We had made it.
Parliament House. Here we go. Ta-da! This is where we do the wheelie shots. Whoa! Just got the flag in. Yeah. Just. Right, huddle in, huddle in.
After Nick had completed a lap of the forecourt, it was time to head back to the car. We had 7 kilometres to go. Here at the Federation Mall is the official start to the Centenary Trail, although I've no idea where you'd park, so it's probably best to start a little bit out of town like we did.
It's getting cold.
We passed the old Parliament House as we made it down to Lake Burley Griffin.
What's this? Is this like convoy to Canberra? Whoa.
We had a coffee and a bite to eat at the Jetty Cafe before continuing on. The trail then passes the National Gallery of Australia, on the northern side, after crossing the lake, you'll ride past a humongous instrument called the National Carillon. As we ride down the Anzac Parade, the Australian War Memorial was in sight. This was our last landmark to see of the Centenary Trail. At the time it was receiving some renovations, so not a lot to see. And there you have it.
I see the car. Fist pump.
And there you have it. 145 kilometres later, we had finished the Centenary Trail. If you made it to the end of this video, I'm impressed. Hope it was helpful and thanks for watching. We're done.